All right. Session 3, the Entertainers Reentry Workshop. My name's Barry Friedman. Really happy to be here with you guys today. Thanks for showing up and getting ready to dig in more. Hopefully you've done sessions 1 and 2. They will be available for about a week. Another week they're going to be online before we pull them down and get rolling with ShowBiz Blueprint 2021. And to that end, let's just go to town on what we're doing here now, because that's what matters. And today we're going to talk about what happens when you live a life that is a marriage, a union of opportunity and action steps, and the new reality that that creates, because it can't be underestimated. Simple math and logic tells you that the same actions are going to yield the same results. So what we've done in the last couple days is look at new opportunities, look at action steps, and today we're going straight into what it is like when you live in the place of those two together. Your new reality and the 4 mistakes that keep it away. I want to talk today about reversing the obscenely invasive and almost naturally occurring habits that create career stagnation for not only entertainers. Honestly, this could work just as well for any entrepreneur in the world, because we are entrepreneurs. We don't report to anybody. We don't punch a clock. And as entrepreneurs, that stagnation is deadly. And it's typically caused from 4 mistakes. Although I have to admit, I threw in a fifth. I warned about it on Thursday. And yeah, it bugged me so much. I had to dig into this one. So welcome to session 3. Turn off the distractions if you can, live or replay. It doesn't matter. Treat it as live. Grab the worksheet and do it in real time. There's a button right under this, lower than this video on the page. It says grab the worksheet from day 3. Bring that up, save it to your own Google Drive, download it, print it. Just keep it open on a device and answer the questions, whatever you can to make it real. This is when the brain gets into fight or flight or freeze mode, and I'm inviting you to fight, to stay in that one. Flight and freeze, man, it's all that changes is the day on the calendar if you do that. So today we're going to talk about the unmentionable. We're going to talk about money, not sex or religion or politics. We're not going that deep. I mean, we're not crazy. But we're going to talk about money, and I warn you to walk away from this lesson at your own risk. You'll kill yourself. You beat yourself up if you walk away from this one and don't dig in. And if you're going to ask questions, please put a capital Q or write question in there. It makes it real easy for us to pull those out and dig into those. So what we've done so far, a quick look back. This is the session 1. We talked about the entertainer's opportunity, and we looked at opportunities that are ongoing and pandemic specific. We looked at the story that you're ready to stop believing and the story you're ready to believe. We identified and turned off any stimulus that didn't align with where we wanted to be in our career. Because, man, that stuff will sneak in so easy and take over from behind, waste an hour, a day, a week, a month, and eventually a career. So we dug into that, and I hope you did the work in Workshop 1 having to do with that. Session 2, we looked at the entertainer's action steps. We defined how to be successful and radically over-deliver. I think that's one of my favorite words, radically over-deliver. That's what we talked about in session 2 on Thursday. And we agreed that we are valuable, needed, we could never be outsourced. And then we left perfection. We left the land of perfection, that magical land that doesn't really exist, and got comfortable with the idea of completion and good and wonderful and all these words that move us forward, get us out in front of prospects that are honestly desperate for what we bring. We agreed to let go of what's ineffective, and that we had a bunch of categories on that one, whether it was relationships or jokes, habits, what's ineffective. And you agreed right on that worksheet to let go of it. And I'm so curious if you took a step towards that. Did you feel something coming in that you knew was ineffective, and have you done it anyway? Drop in the chat. Love to read it. Or did you step up? Did you say, hell no, I wrote this on the sheet. This is the beginning of how things work differently. And did you take a different course of action? Hope so. And then we learned the proposal trifecta, the research, the connect, and the propose. And if you were smart, if you were really doing the lesson, you left Thursday session 2 with a blueprint that you could actually have an idea, know of somebody that's putting on an event, and do the research, the connection, and build a proposal. Is it all going to be beautiful? Is it all going to be perfect? We don't do perfect. Was it going to be good? Wonderful. Ready to ship? Yeah, probably. I hope you took action on that one. Make my day if you did that. Today, we're going to flirt with the whole new reality, one that's the natural outcome of seeing opportunity plus taking action. The natural outcome of seeing opportunity and taking action. Good, we'll dig into the 5 mistakes. I crossed it out. We're going for 5. I got a bonus one that I could not let slip by. It would have been actually malpractice of me to dig into those 4 without touching on that 5th one. So added that in. The mistakes that keep entertainers stuck, you'll have a chance to fix them all in real time today. If you grab the worksheet, you know what I'm talking about. We already have it in there, right in that worksheet and ready to go for you. Download that thing and let's do this work today in real time. It's powerful. I told you, I called this a workshop for a reason. This is not an entertaining video with the bald guy in a black shirt. This is a workshop to get things done. And I'll promise you, history shows me this will be my 16th edition of ShowBiz Blueprint I'm running starting tomorrow. We're opening registration for that. And I can tell you that most people won't do this work that I'm talking about right now. I've done some version of a workshop like this before every ShowBiz Blueprint. This is how I get to introduce you to me, how I get to meet you, how you get a feel for how I work and think, is this someone I want in my life? Staring down my throat for the next 8 weeks, guiding my ship, helping me make decisions. What better way than digging into this? And I'll tell you, sadly, that most won't do the work. And I am here 100% showered, shaved, tanned, rested, and ready to serve those of you who will do the work. That's what I'm interested in. Short term, it's easier to do nothing, absolutely. And entertainment success in this business is a long-term game. 34 years is one half of the Raspini brothers. I know long term. I know how good it is. And I know how good it feels for the instant hit of likes and hearts on your posts. And I've never seen anyone who could deposit those into the bank. So let's dig into the work today. Mistake number 1 I'm going to talk about today that keeps entertainers at a stagnant place in their career is money, and a radical misunderstanding of what it's used for, the power of it, and how to treat it with grace and respect so that it treats you. We're going to do this as you've seen on the sheet. Let me come back full screen for a second. You're going to rate each of these from 1 to 5. 1 being I disagree, strongly disagree, and 5 being I strongly agree. So when I put up one of these things, I think there's three checkpoints for each of the 5 questions that I've done. So we're going to dig into 15 points right now. Get these in line and you will not recognize yourself over the next, starting Monday, but then over the next week, month, year, you won't recognize yourself and you'll say it came from this day. If you do the work, you'll say it came from this day. So rate yourselves 1 to 5. 1, I strongly disagree. 5, totally agree. That's where I'm at right now. And let's dig in. The clients and market I serve allow me to operate and grow my business. Where are you at with that? From 1 to 5. Do you agree with that? Do the clients and markets you serve allow you to operate and grow your business? Might be. Starting with the easy ones here. Each of these also I have a turn on. You'll see I wrote the turn. And in here is that if you have a low number, 1, 2, or 3, this is the work you'll do. What I put under this section in each one of these, that's the work you're going to do to turn that ship, to right that ship in the direction you want to go so that next time we're here and next time I'm asking you a question like this, you're going to go 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. I did the work. I'm there. I'm where I want to be. And guess what? You're going to want a next stage. And when we entertain that next stage, you're going to maybe be down at a 2 or 3 again. And that is what they call growth. That's where it takes off. So good work. Where are you doing that? And let's look at the turn on this one. One thing I can tell you is this will not change if you don't personally change it. If you don't grab the reins and take some control, it's not going to change. The only thing is going to change is the month and the year on the calendar. And you'll still be answering this question with a low number. Your 2 choices are decide to stay in the market and grow your position in the market. Strategies for that we've already talked about over the last couple meetings. And then the next turn you can do in this is decide on the market that you want to enter next. The market that's along that path of taking you uphill into the new terrains, into where you can say, heck yeah, the clients and the markets I serve allow me to operate and grow my business. Absolutely. Those are where it's at. It's not more difficult than this, I promise you. But if you don't do this, I ask you, are you subsidizing every single client? Every time you book a show, are you subsidizing that with your time, with your creativity, with your energy, with your team, with your experience? Or are you getting paid in a way that allows you to operate and grow your business? Because man, it sucks subsidizing clients. It sucks charging just what you're worth, or even worse, not making it. Working so hard on a show, on the booking part of it, that you end up, guess what, earning yourself a very prestigious $25 an hour job. Not why we're here, you guys, not why we're here. Mistake number one is still money, and we're going to look at another factor where we could turn this around without killing myself in the process. My business is growing and I'm able to invest back into my business. Are you running your business in a way that you're able to take some of the profits and invest it back into advertising, promotional materials, swag, advertising, fantastic way, better equipment, any of these things? Are you able to take some of the money that you earn and put it back into your business? The turn, if you're not, is to be honest with your financials. Just get down and dirty, honest with my financials. If nothing else, figure out what you're actually making. My gosh. Hey, and a real rough way to do this is estimate the number of hours you work a day, multiply that times 5, 6, or 7, be honest with yourself, hours in a week. Multiply that times 52, that's how many hours you work in a year. And then divide it by your income. Just for a round number, find out where you're at. It's a good step in getting honest with your financials. Of course, then there's all kinds of deductions and things to factor in, but that's a big round number. The advice, read a book called Profit First, which no, that's a different one, which I wish I had. I think I have it in here somewhere. I'm not looking for that though. It's by Mike Michalowicz. He's a guest facilitator with ShowBiz Blueprint. No, he's a guest facilitator with ShowBiz Blueprint. He did a special session for us where he talks about Profit First. One of the main takeaways from his thing is to create multiple accounts. We did this back in the days of like layaway. And I don't know if anyone on here is old enough to remember that. I barely do. My parents did it though. But if you wanted, a refrigerator, you'd give the store, you'd give Sears or Montgomery Ward's $20 a week. And when you had it all paid off, you took the refrigerator home. To that extent, it's still probably one of the best ways. A very simple look at Michael teaches in the book is pay yourself 50%, a profit margin of 10%, which goes into another account, which allows you to grow the business, have a healthy margin for your business. Taxes 20%, expenses 20%. And those ratios will vary. You'll have different accounts. Of course, retirement, that's a nice piece to look at so that you can have a blossoming career after you're off this stage. Measure your success and how comfortable your retirement's going to be. Another good way to look at this. So this is one mistake with money, the turnaround real clear, and it starts with honesty with your financials. How much are you really making? The other mistake with money that I'm going to highlight today for you guys is, where are you at with this from 1 to 5? My current clients and market position enable me to provide my family and me with a comfortable lifestyle. Where are you at with that one? Be honest with yourself on this one. You're not having to share this publicly.
Why don't you repeat the name of the book and the author?
Oh, the author, yeah, Mike Michalowicz. Mike Michalowicz, Profit First. Profit First. Great book because he talks about being profitable from day one in your business, something most of us have never thought about. Where are you at? My current clients and market position enable me to provide a comfortable lifestyle for my family and me. Good. Where you're at with that. If you're not happy with that number, the turn on that one is living within your means. Living within the means that you create. Heresy in today's world, I know. In the I want it now, I have credit card, Amazon can get it to me in the morning world. It's heresy to even think about living within your means, but I'm going to promise you that if you can bite that bullet, and it doesn't all have to be at once, it can start with very small things. But whatever it is, you either have to bring up the income or bring down the expenses, and you'll find that place where it is within your means to live and not stress. Live within the means that you create. Upgrade your market position and clients. The other thing you can do to bring up that one curve, I told you there's 2 curves to this thing. One is bringing down your expenses. The other is bringing up your income. You're going to find that place in there where those two come together. Upgrade your market position and your clients. And the third, shift your market to a better paying one. And I always suggest that for every entertainer. We cannot, unless we choose it, unless we love it, unless we're absolutely pinching ourselves that we get to do this exact thing, be thinking about how you can grow your business, because you don't want boredom and frustration. You don't want to get stuck. Man, it's hard to get stuck. Be in control. There's never been a pilot who's landed an airplane at an airport where he was heading that felt stuck. It's a dynamic situation. We have to always be watching where we're going, what the market's doing, how we can adjust to that. And shifting your market to a better paying one is a fantastic, fantastic way to be able to provide the family and yourself a comfortable living. And if you are smart enough to combine that, growing your market share, going into a market that pays better, along with living within your means, everything rises. You know, rising water lifts all boats, and that's exactly what that will do for you. The math doesn't lie, guys. Got to stay positive on this stuff. Okay, let's jump into mistake number 2. What landed with you from mistake number 1 about the money? Where are you guys at with that?
Heidi wrote, "Thou shalt not subsidize the venues."
Thou shalt not subsidize the
Thy
venues.
venues.
Thy venues. That's so funny, man. Heidi, that's so awesome. Yeah, isn't that the thing? Thou shalt not subsidize the venues.
Thy makes it funny, the thou and the thy.
Oh, thou shalt not subsidize the venue.
Thy venue.
Thy venue. She'll correct me later. Funny joke. I'm going to trust her. She knows comedy after this many years. Yeah. So, yeah, don't subsidize. What's landing with you about the money piece? I really want to be able to comment on that with you guys and back and forth with this one. You know, it's sadly kind of ground zero. We get into this business because we love the show so much. And it becomes important at some point to be able to make it a thriving, sustainable career, one that will support everything so that you can continue to create, be who you are. And man, it's been an incredible 15 months. My hat's off to everyone who stayed in the game. In that questionnaire, I'm going to have a special segment next week. I'm going to go through all those questions, and we're going to answer those questions. We're going to dig in hard. You may or may not want to be there live for them, but I'm going to run through really those categories of questions and break down everything that we can be doing, because this workshop, you know, I told you earlier, I don't want to focus on the pandemic. It's not really here right now. It doesn't have to be driving what you're doing. Yes, there's going to be fragments of it for the next year. We'll be doing some version of things. But the truth is, as I showed in Capel's book there, tested advertising methods, we are not fading from a blip. We're not fading from the way that we've always talked about marketing and business, getting in front of people, serving first. If anything, we've just upped the game and made it even more imperative and better ways to do it. So let's talk about business growth pre-pandemic. Note, this is pre-pandemic. My gross and net income steadily grew over the past 5 years. That's before the pandemic. Let's rule out this last 15 months. I don't know many entertainers whose income grew during this 15 months. Certainly not from doing entertainment. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say that. There's a couple alumni in ShowBiz Blueprint. John Fitch, for one of them. His posts are amazing, but he's never had a career like this. I mean, he's never done as well like this. So it's been fun to kind of check in with him and have people in our alumni group that are having that kind of success. So outliers aside, I don't know many entertainers whose income grew during the last 15 months. Yeah. So, yeah, I know a couple of people wrote some good comments there about the money. Yeah. Let's see. I think I tapped current markets to the max and need to enter new markets. Jesse, yeah, man. Well done, man. That's feedback for the money part. Yeah, thank you. Not everything at their event is donated. Oh, yeah, it makes me mad how many people ask me to donate my work. Oh, please don't do that, you guys. Just got out of lockdown. Hey, Dawn Marie, welcome, man. So good. I know up in Canada, and I mentioned in video 1 that what I was talking about was fairly United States centric, and I'm so glad that Canada's coming back and lifting out. And like I said, this is not our permanent place. So let's keep marketing in the best ways possible, shall we? So if you answered a 1 through 5 on that, 1, highly disagree, 5, fully agree. If you answered a 5, fantastic, you win. Pat yourself on the back, and for God's sakes, keep on doing what you're doing and everything that we've talked about in here. Keep looking for the opportunity and action steps that you can take. That said, if your business didn't grow, if you rated this a 1, 2, or a 3, the turn is simple. Assess the problems and eliminate them. Whatever they are. Are you working? Are you giving away your time? Are you donating who is it? Like Cecilia said on here. Are you donating, subsidizing shows? Horrendous. Not what you're going to do. Cut the expenses immediately. You can raise your lifestyle and your income and live within your means just by cutting out unnecessary expenses. They are all over the place. Be extremely careful with where you spend your time and your money, both. What's at the end of that equal sign, to some extent or another, is the life you choose, how you spend your time. What do you allow in these 7 holes in your head, for one thing? What do you give your money to? What do you donate to? What do you give your time to? Where do you focus? And then fire the clients who are costing you the most. You see how I said that? Not the clients who are paying you the least, the clients who are costing you the most, because you are responsible. You have the opportunity to say no to anything and everything that you do not want to do that isn't serving you. Are you living the 20-80 instead of the 80-20? What do I mean by that? Are you making 20% of your income from 80% of the work you're doing? Or are you making 80% of your income from 20% of the work you're doing? One way is really good, one way is really bad. And I will tell you, and this hurts to say, that a lot of entertainers are doing it the exact opposite way, working way too hard for way too little. Yeah. Didn't come with the training, no matter where you trained, in a gym, in a circus school, as a dancer, as a singer, on stage, on the streets. It doesn't come with the training that's required to run a successful business. Business growth number 2, I would be an investor in my own business. Rate that from 1 to 5. 1 to 5. I would be an investor in my own business. If I read a prospectus about what I do, would I invest in it? As a Raspini brother, we had a lot of companies invest in us. It was really nice. It was a two-way street. We would do some shows for stock options sometimes, and investor meetings, venture capital meetings, where they were basically investing in us. They had a 30-minute meeting, and they chose some of those minutes to be with us doing something that was memorable and fun. That's a company investing in you. Crazy stuff. People who work trade shows, those companies may be paying you, but they're investing in you. The most expensive time in the world for that company is when an audience is gathered around their booth, and if they're allowing those eyeballs and eardrums to take in their message through you, they're investing in you heavily. So I ask you, 1 to 5, would you be an investor in your own business? The turn on that, if you're not, is look at your business as if you had to sell shares in it. Yep. Define the biggest wastes in your business. Where are you wasting the most time and money? And guess what? You'll define the least maximized assets in your business, which, without even knowing exactly where you are in the world, who's watching, I can almost promise you that asset, the most important asset in your business, is your creativity, your inventiveness, your sense of humor, your voice. It's the assets that you get to do for that half hour that you're on stage. That's a massive asset that nobody else in the world has. Everything else can be learned. You shouldn't be the only investor in your business. A new way of thinking about it, but you should not be the only investor in your business. And if you have a family, you should not be taking them on a ride, a willy-nilly blindfolded ride with you, because they didn't sign up to invest in that. Yeah. I mean that with love. I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart, that there's always a chance to change. Okay, in growth, the second mistake, third item we're going to look about is I'm satisfied with my place, and that means the rank or the positioning that you are in your current market. 1 to 5, I'm satisfied with my place in the market. If you're a kids entertainer, are you happy with where you're at? Are you at the bottom of it? Are you at the top of it? If you're doing corporates, are you working for the kind of companies you want? 1 to 5. Yeah, get honest with yourself on that one. The turn on this one, I'm here because I believe and act this way. Know that as a truth in your body and your soul, that you are exactly where you're at in your market because of the way that you choose to believe and act. Yep, that's it. I can promise you, Annie can vouch for this, the act we did for corporate America was not that far away from the act that we did at Renaissance festivals. I just wasn't wearing tights. What changed was the mindset, what I believed we were possible to do. Same jokes even. Thank you for adding that. Oh my.
Less beer jokes.
Less beer jokes, yeah. Less beer jokes, but not a radical change. What changed was the inside, the mindset, the visions, the goals, the mission. Yeah, all of that climbed. So that one, I'm here because I believe and act this way. Own that for yourself. And then decide where you'd like to be in your market. What's next? And then you guys, what's that?
No question when you're ready.
Yeah, simple course correction. Model and course correct towards that end. Where you are, where you want to be, and what do I need to model and course correct to get to that end? Yeah, what's the question on that one?
My nightmare guest said, how do you get investors?
Oh, man, investors. That question, by the way, who said that?
It says nightmare.
Nightmare. How funny, great name. Nightmare, how do you get that investment? How do you get investors? You know what? People invest in you when they hire you. To some extent, they're giving you some money, but it's not nearly enough, whatever it is. Even 50 grand for a couple-day trade show, barely enough through their eyes for what they were putting at risk. So they're investing in you when they hire with you. The only thing we're always playing with is, can we get bigger and bigger investors? Can we get bigger and bigger people to touch us on the forehead and say, now's your time? Yeah.
Do grants count as investors? Asked Dawn Marie.
Yeah, Dawn Marie, Dawn Marie is someone amazing. She's been with ShowBiz Blueprint alumni for a while. And what I've seen with you is, writing grants and showing people the value of your work. She's done amazing. In fact, chime in on your comments, Dawn Marie. What have you done to get grants? Because you have convinced some people with money that what you do will produce a greater output in society and culture than if they didn't give you money. And that's phenomenal. So yeah, you've done that, and I was always amazed that part of your business model is fantastic. So grants definitely cost, though. That's people investing in you. That's what's that?
They count.
Oh, they totally count. Yeah, I mean they totally count when someone invests a grant invests in you, even more so than a corporation. Because guess what? That government grant that you got, or that cultural city regional grant you got, that had to go through so much red tape. They had to talk to so many people who didn't understand what rotating letters were and how this woman who put together words and made beautiful art out of letters.
Social proof.
Yeah, it's massive social proof. So you to be able to use that anytime you get something like that, massive social proof. It does such heavy lifting for you in terms of getting people to say, oh my gosh, she got this. He was granted this. That must mean, let them fill in the blanks. But boy, oh boy, does it count when someone gives you a grant? Fantastic. Great question. Oh, remember that guy? Ooh. Makes you shudder to think about how innocent he started. So if you're satisfied on all those about business growth, you are done. Congratulations, you nailed it. Let's look to mistake number 3, which of course is the grandparent, the evil cousin of money. It's time. So let's 1 to 5 this one, you guys. I am involved only in those parts of my business which require me or from which I derive massive joy. Where are you going to rate yourself on that one? 1 to 5. Highly disagree, highly agree. I'm involved only in those parts of my business which require me. Be careful on that one. It could be slippery. Which require me or from which I derive massive joy. That one's a little less slippery. The turn on this one, if you rated low on this one, is define a place you regularly waste time. Be super honest with yourself. What are you doing that's a $10 an hour job? What are you doing that you could pay a part-time outsourcer in the Philippines who has a bachelor's degree in marketing, and you can hire for $200 a month part-time, 20 hours a week? and you keep an ongoing Asana or Google Doc or something to track what needs to happen in your business that you don't need to be doing. Yeah, not just, anywhere in the world. You may find someone locally. You may find someone out there. I've personally had luck in both. A local outsourcer for some things, and then someone who has a degree who's been with me for years. We support a big part of his family. $200 a month with some good bonuses around every launch. That's right. It's a good thing to do. So to find that place you regularly waste time by you doing jobs that don't need to be done with you. And the turn on this, you ready for something super powerful? Define a dollar value on an hour of your time. What am I doing here? Define a dollar value on a single hour of your time.
What you actually make or what you output?
Yeah, or just, you can just make that up. You can say my time's worth $100, $200 an hour. All right? Define that for yourself. And then I'm going to ask you to do something here. Okay. This is great. Define an hour of your time. You know what I'm going to do? I got to show this. Put a dollar value on an hour of your time, and every time you waste an hour, donate that amount of money to a cause that you, what's that last word say? Dislike. Yeah. If you find yourself regularly wasting time, it's going to be hard to stop doing it because you're going to tell yourself some kind of story like I can do it better than anyone else. I'm the only one who can do it. It'll be too hard to teach somebody else to do it. It'll take them too long to get started. I don't want to give them my passwords. Blah, 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 blah. All BS. All throttling a bottleneck around your neck that will never set you free to grow to the next limit. How do I know? Here's something I do. I'm not making this political, but look at this. I put myself, I slowed down on a deadline, and I told an accountability partner, I said, I need to get this done so badly. And he had this idea. He knew I wasn't crazy about the incumbent president at the last election. I'm fairly unpolitical. I don't follow a ton of news, but I do look if I just feel that someone is living in integrity. And that's a hard box to check on literally any politician. But this one I had a hard time with. So he said, write a check, put it in an envelope and hand it to me and give me the deadline. Well, this was the check. It was good. It was going to last. How could you not have a good check from a company called Integrity Presents? $5,000. And I gave him a date to mail that. And that was accountability for QP. That was a code name of a project I was working on. Big time. Hey, guess what? I finished that thing about 3 days early, that project, and it was out of control, out of the box. And the weird thing was that product paid me somewhere, I forget, it was like $30,000 just on the launch, the first launch of that program. And it's a recurring income program that keeps on running. But just getting that out of my head that it had to be this certain way and having that rock and hard place of that accountability and that check, that changed everything. So this is a great formula that you can follow. I tell you, if you think that you're so special and that only you can update your website, make a one sheet, do the research necessary to find clients to make proposals to, who are you going to write a check to? What's the dollar value going to be? Who are you going to hand it to mail off without excuse at a certain day of time? I gave that to a business coach that I've worked with for a long time. He was not feeling any fear of throwing it in the mailbox the second that deadline came. But I sent him the link to log in 3 days early, and he was just so happy for me. So yeah, good stuff. All right, so that's a great one to leverage your time. Time is your absolute biggest asset. You will never get it back. Money will always replace itself. Time will never replace itself. Money constantly flows in and out of our lives. It's the world we live in. Time, you will never get a single second back, which makes me very appreciative that you're spending this time on yourself, and I'm happy to facilitate that with you. Good. With second one of time, I regularly outsource the parts of my business that do not require me. This is a bit of a replay from last one, but the turn on this one. Decide on something you'll never do again. Find someone who loves that task. I mean loves it, eats and drinks and sleeps it. There are people on this planet who love the things you could never even imagine. I've had the same tax family for 36 years, 1984, 37 years. The original woman who did our taxes passed away. Her daughter took over. Seamless. But they love taxes. I can't bring myself to even think about it once a year. There is someone who loves everything as much as you despise or don't need to be doing it. Find someone who loves that task and start to build your team. Take a picture of this next little GIF because this is you. You're not too small for a team. Get a picture of me pointing at it. You are not too small for a team. That's going to be my screenshot for this one. You're not too small for a team, no matter what. You can have an outsourcer who works for you 10 hours a month to do the little things that your business will maximally grow from, maximally grow from, giving you back freedom for the vision and leading the ship of where you're going to go. Never too small for a team. Mistake number 3, and this is the third one, my days are divided into blocks, which support my personal and business life. Rate yourself on that one from 1 to 5. My days are divided into blocks, which support my business and personal life. How you guys doing on that one? Really curious. Yeah. That's a biggie. It's a responsibility. It goes highly along the lines of who would invest in your business. If you can show someone this is who you're investing in, this is what they do, you become instantly more valuable to any investor, including yourself, including how you look at yourself, how you treat your business. I made up something here. I made this up probably in 2010 or something, way back when. And I want to share this with you quickly. This is something I call Life First. I have one of these for employed people, and I have one of these for entrepreneurs. This is a bit of a modification on Mike Michalowicz's book, Profit First, where he says every time $100 comes in, which envelopes, which accounts does that go into? This is based on every day 24 hours comes in. And where do those 24 hours go? A sample one here that I just love. This one's extremely comfortable for me. 2 hours personal development, exercise, education, health, reading, whatever it is. Oh, wrong mouse. 4 hours money-making activities. And this can be clients, proposals, content creation, business, infrastructure. If you're an entertainer, this could easily be stuff that will eventually make you money. It's money-making activities and activities that work towards making you money. 4 hours. Okay, I did that. 4 hours of family, meals, games, home projects, recreation, making stuff, home economics. We just did a remodel. I may have shot the clock on this one a few of those days. But 4 hours family time, connecting, being human. 2 hours swinging for the fences. And for me, this is the most important one right here. 2 hours of swinging for the fences. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by swinging for the fences is stuff that the little devil on this shoulder says, dude, you don't have any right to be doing that. That's the 2 hours. It's calling people. It's reaching into my network. It's connecting people on LinkedIn or on my TED network. It's who can I connect? It's asking myself, what would scare me right now? I'm working on a new book. I wrote a book in 2015, working on a second book right now. Scares the hell out of me every time I open that document, every time I open that Scrivener file and start typing stuff. 2 hours every day, swinging for the fences. And sometimes it's really scary. It's always hard. And it's the most important time you'll spend of the day. Long term, long game. There's other things to do for the short term. 6 hours a day of sleeping. Isn't that about right, Annie? That's
all right.
That's all this knucklehead can do. I can show you my app. I get up ready to go. Sometimes at night I'm just like, God, I want to wake up again. I want to get going again. It's crazy. And then 6 hours of flex time. I don't know how many people you know who achieve a lot, have a good business, enjoy life, get plenty of recreation, still operating in a very healthy body, and have this last detail, 6 hours of flex time, mostly downtime, always fun, measurably every day. That comes from organization. Look at this last line. Oops, I'm sticking stuff into this document that doesn't go here. Look at this bottom line of this thing. Structure equals freedom. Structure lives within freedom. I'm sorry. Structure equals freedom. Freedom lives within structure. Yep. This is right here. Freedom lives within structure. That's a pretty radical thought to a lot of people. And that's the truth. Freedom lives right inside of all of that structure. Everything that's in this document, that's where the freedom lives, right inside there. Good. Counterintuitive. And that's what we're doing in this workshop, is looking at time. So to that end, let me pop back over to this, and let's rate ourselves on this, because we're going to do the turn on this one. My days are divided into blocks which support my business life. The turn. Admit that ad hoc days are stress and a waste of time. Create a framework. I gave you an example on that. And start by winning the morning. Winning the morning is your best way to have an amazing day. All right, good. There is time. I promise there is time for all that you can imagine and more. The problem is boredom. The problem is what we do during the boredom time. Sleeping late, eating junk food, wasting time on social media. With structure, all the freedom you want and everything being done. Good stuff. Mistake number 4. Let's move into category 4. Are you guys ready? What are you taking away from the time one? What are you taking away from time? The mistake that we tackled about time. I'm going to grab a little water. Grab some water. Jump up and down. Did any of you guys see my email from an hour ago where I said we're going live in an hour? I mentioned this. This 35-pound kettlebell. Do some swings with it. Stand up. Do something here. Get that heartbeat going, man. Work that thing. Do something. All right. Clap yourself. Slap yourself. Let's head in. Mistake number 4, marketing your business. Rate yourself 0 to 5. I use 21st century tools to automate and make sure I'm over delivering to my clients. 1 to 5. 1 to 5. I use 21st century tools to automate and make sure I'm over delivering to my clients. If you do that, drop a 4 or 5 in there. Know that there's room to go. I can promise you're not a 5. Hardly anyone's a 5 as far as using tools really in the best way you can. If you're doing this one to a 3, you're great. If you're at a 1 or a 2, let's talk. Let's talk about a turn on this one. The turn on this one, use simple tools. One of my favorites is Text Expander. I would not believe the amount of shortcuts I have in this. Let me see. I'm not going to spend time doing that. But Text Expander is a great little tool. It's always sitting on the phone and on the any computer. It cloud syncs. But when you have something that works, when you want to say something over and over, I type 3 letters usually. I always start with Z because very few words start with Z. And then it's the next 2 letters are always just the initials of what I want to do. Like I had ZC1, which was which was Text Expander Z, and then Client 1. But I would have a response for clients 1 through 5. I think I had, and I just had them listed with there. It would type paragraphs of text, and I'd be able to shoot it off and go on to the next one, just like that. Text Expander, wonderful app, and it sends a cool report every month about how much time it saves you. I think last month I got one that saved me like 20 hours just in the amount of expansions I had. Just, really for our clients, let's be serious.
Describe it more. Cecilia doesn't understand.
Oh, Cecilia, Text Expander is like the ultimate copy and paste. You have all these things copied, and you just paste them by typing a very short abbreviation. Look up Text Expander tool. You'll see it for me. I don't want to spend too much time. It's one of many, though. Yeah. What else? No. Yeah. It's one of many, but it's just basically anything you're ever going to type more than once, throw it in a Text Expander shortcut, and just always be ready to run those things. Very powerful. There's so many tools you can use from with automation and things, and I honestly, it's a decent section of ShowBiz Blueprint. We look at automation and how to really expedite the flow of business. But I can just tell you right off the bat, save yourself a few hours a month if you're answering, 5 or so questions, different questions your clients have, be it about price, be it about availability, be it about, is it appropriate for this? Is it 12-foot ceiling height? Whatever it is, have some really quick answers. And trust yourself to memorize the quick text expander tip. Whatever you think should be the shortcut, the second you do it, don't overthink it. Use that, because when you need it, that's the one you're going to type. So I do that all the time with my expanders. Yeses live in the land of no's, as one of my coaches over the past 10 years, Rich Litvin, says, yeses live in the land of no's. Put out offers regularly. Automation helps you put out offers faster than you can imagine. That proposal I showed you the other day, more than 90% of that is automated. It's already in the template, and all I do is just put in the company's name and a picture and their date, and I'm ready to go, and then I record a voiceover for it. But that's massive automation using 21st tools. If it converts, reuse it, and if it fails, test again. Oh, that should say test again for the final answer. I'm going to fix that. If you are doing something over and over again, test again. Yeah, let me get that right. If you are doing something over and over in your business and it's not converting to where you want, you have to throw it out and test another one. That's just it's insanity to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, right? That's not a Barry quote, that's an Albert Einstein quote. But you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting it to have different results. If it converts, reuse it and be testing something else against it. But if it fails regularly, get it out of your automation, get it out of your system. And then always, this is a great tool that you should always be thinking about, is have a document that syncs between an iPad, a computer, a phone, whatever, and everything you use, so that when you have an idea that's a soundbite, that's something that separates you from the rest of your market, that is a unique selling position for you, connects to your clients, record that and bring those into your market. It's going to strengthen your brand. It's going to be a more powerful and secure umbrella that you stand over for every single thing you do. Always have a live soundbite document around. Just always. It's ground zero for automation. Don't be a 20th century dinosaur, you guys. Just don't do it. What's a media impression even mean? I'm not too sure about that one. Mistake number 4, the next one in marketing your business. Calls or emails from a prospective client cause me some level of panic or stress. 1 to 5, rate yourself on that. 1, highly disagree. 5, highly agree. That when you get a call, when you get an opportunity that comes through your website, through email, or on the phone, there's some level of, oh gosh. What do you think? What's that one rate? Good. If you rated 1, 2, or 3 on this one, let's talk about a turn. Admit to yourself that by holding that as an emergency and by feeling that stress on some level, you are repelling opportunities. That might be a tough one to swallow. It may sound woo, but I promise you this has been proven over and over again. If these are emergencies when they come into your life, as a self-protective mechanism, you're going to start repelling those. You're not going to do marketing that attracts those opportunities. You're going to let things slip behind. You're going to not return calls on time, which is going to make those emergencies, those fires go out. Whereas if you are prepared, if you're running these like a boss and all you have to do is add a tag to somebody's record in your CRM and they get the next thing sent out to them, opportunities flood in like the gates have been opened. So assess the biggest culprits and commit to a system. Are you stuck on what to say? Are you stuck on pricing? Are you stuck on not having promo material? Are you stuck on not having a convenient way to make a proposal? Are you stuck on the nightmare of when someone says, are you available? Yeah, and I'm $500. Dude, what? No, we don't ever talk about stuff like that on the phone. That repels opportunity. Do anything you can not to stick a price tag on your shirt that has a $sign and a number on it. That's just not where the conversation needs to go during the early stages of a relationship with a prospect. Practice until every single thing you say in an email, on your website, in a conversation feels natural. and always be testing. You're never done testing. You're never, ever done testing. You can't be done, because no matter how you've done, if you're testing something else against it, there's going to be a better result. So always be testing. Again, a flagship piece of ShowBiz Blueprint that we keep going. Fear pushes away opportunity. Look at that. Some kind of magnet magic going on there. And the last one in marketing your business, answer this one from 1 to 5. My website and video are aimed at one single market and do not cause the visitor to wonder if you're the right choice for their audience. Everything about your business is congruent and pointed at one market. Where are you at from 1 to 5 on that? Sometimes I wish we lived in a world where people took the time to read and filter through things and look for what mattered. We don't live in that world anymore. Through some work I do with some other companies, some other clients, they build these things. They're web browser heat maps. We get to actually watch and do amazing tests on a lot of different levels of triggers of where people's the pointer is when they're reading. And guess where the mouse is typically? About, do it on my black shirt so you can see, about that far from the back button. That's where people are reading stuff. It just moves. I do my mouse left-handed, but that's where people are typically hovering their mouse, is about an inch from the back button. That's what you're fighting with. So if your website is talking about what a great corporate entertainer you are, and you have a picture of you twisting up a beautiful dog for a 9-year-old kid at a fair, moves up that inch because it's not congruent. Aim that at one market. The turn, if you rated low on this one, is identify the big offenders and commit to losing them right away. Great to take all that other stuff, take all the balloon animal pictures, all the festivals, put them on another website where that's the only message, where someone who's looking at you for a festival or a kid's party doesn't get confused by a picture of you on a stage at a corporate banquet. That's just as confusing. Separate these markets out. Corporate buyer never needs to know that you can make a balloon animal. Unless it's something you do in your corporate show, and that's what they want. Be ruthless. Pretend you're a visitor to your website. Study what works and make one change. Just make a change a day if you can. The smallest change you can make. Don't let your website confuse visitors. Yeah, I didn't get both your messages. Michael Scott. If Michael Scott can't understand it, that's the litmus test. Good. Hey, we're doing mistake 5, you guys. I told you there was one that I could not. It would be malpractice for me to go on, to give you all these other things and not dig into this. So let me talk about this. Yeah. Oh, let's do question on number 4. Where's that landing for you? Sorry about that.
Yeah. So we were talking. This is also back. Just a note on Evernote is someone's go-to. We're back on
Evernote. Yeah.
Multi-screen, multi-place tool. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Cloud sharing. Evernote's a great tool.
Yeah. And Louis was talking about great division of blocks of time. And
Yeah. Good, Louis.
Jesse, freedom lives inside of structure.
Love that. Freedom inside of structure, man.
And Faith wrote, structure gives you freedom. So they were on the same page.
Yeah.
And there's too many time wasters easily available, says Glenn.
Too many time wasters available. Man, isn't that the truth, Glenn? Yeah, thanks for those. Thanks for pulling those out. Just owning those out loud.
And then we have sound bites question.
Yeah.
Why do you need a sound bite? And what's an example? And Louis gave one to her and said he thinks of them as a blurb.
Yeah, that's good. Yes, sound bites. What are they and why are they important? Really, really good question.
What's an example?
Yeah, what's an example? I'm going to pull up an example for you super quick. When I wrote a book. Let me bring this up. I wrote this book. Grab that off my bookshelf because I know some people are thinking that's a green screen. I wrote a book in 2015, I Love Me More Than Sugar. I was 9+ years sugar-free right now as of today, but that turned into a book, and I ran around the country doing TV shows, morning news programs. I did 25 like in a row, like a road warrior. Just went on the road and pounded them out using a system for booking TV shows that I teach in ShowBiz Blueprint, which every entertainer should be doing, and many of the alumni are. And that's when I learned the power of sound bites, because it made me completely unique. It let me know what I was always going to talk about. Sound bites, sugar for TV. Let me bring this document up, share this with you guys. This was my one for I would just have this. This gave me my unique selling proposition. This told me what I wanted to talk about. This was the wording that related and flowed off my tongue so naturally it sounded like I was talking to my son. Just these are the pieces. Don't confuse hard or difficult with new. Sugar-free is new to me. Great thing to say. It was a soundbite. It was something they could grab on the news. And if you're doing these about your entertainment, find things that people have said to you. Sound bites about your show, your philosophies, your mission, why you're there, what's going to be different at the party. Some of the stuff that we talked about in the new opportunities. I talked about the most effective areas. I would always have this open on my phone. I use something called Google Keep. I would just use this on Google. You're trying to move the wrong mouse. On Google Keep, I would do this. I would just have all these. These are some fun examples. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you guys. It may be big enough, but if you're on a phone, it could be hard to read. Yeah, full screen that. So this isn't unlike 1966 when the FDA demanded warning labels on cigarettes. This is stuff I would say about sugar when I was talking about it. Within a year, we'll look at sugar the same way we now look at tobacco. Sugar is supposed to be used as an occasional treat, but we're using it as a mainstay of our diets. All of these were just a long document of things that I could say, and I wrote them, and they were me. They represented my brand and my mission and my vision about this product. So, perfect. I hope that answers that question. And you can have all of these about your act. I certainly had sound bites about the Raspini Brothers. Oh my gosh, the sound bites that I would use about the Raspini Brothers, about what we did to events, most of them were taken from testimonials. Honestly, most of them were taken from letters and videos people sent us. Was there another, Bob?
A question about websites.
Mm-hmm.
What about the prominent magicians who advertise corporate and kid shows?
Yeah.
And then somebody wrote back 2 websites, sent to the client the one that fits them. Would that be what you?
Yeah, totally. And I'm not gonna spend this time battling people who insist on doing that. I will just say, over time, it's a net loss, guaranteed. I work with very, very big marketing companies who you would know if I didn't have an NDA to not mention them. And what we see in every test that we do. One thing I learned, and this is great.
Is what?
Oh, one thing I learned is that any confusion sends away buyers way more than it brings in. One thing I've realized in my post-retirement career is that selling a juggling act made me very good at selling and consulting on and being a creative consultant on so many different projects. It's kind of out of control. So know that if you get good at selling your act, you're also building a skill for later in your life as well. But there has never been, and there never will be, somewhere where you can offer people 2 or 3 things. A confused buyer makes that inch up to the upper left and hits the back button so fast. And successful magicians who have corporate and children's shows on their site, God bless them. I would love to see when they run a test and send targeted traffic to one that speaks to one market.
Would you have 2, like John Corporate Musician, John Kids Show?
Yeah, definitely. Break them up. Have 2 different websites. It's a perfect thing to do. And no problem. The Raspini Brothers website, we talked about, historically, sure, you can go back and see pictures of us with Howie Mandel and Robin Williams and Billy Crystal and Patti LaBelle. Historical. The website itself, purely corporate, because that's all we cared about till the day we retired, the last 30 years of it. That was the focus. That was the audience, the mission. So to that end, Tonight Show, things like that weren't even on our reel. It didn't matter. It was great to have a little picture of them, built social proof and authority, but man, that was not the focus. Yeah. All right.
We're bouncing around, but Chipper mentioned Google Keep. You got to mention Google Keep.
Oh, Google Keep is a winner, man. Me and Chipper use Google Keep. I knew I loved you, man. Yeah, Google Keep is like Evernote, but it's better and free, and I don't know. Google Suite's kind of nailed things, so Google you can use. Keep, Keep, simple as maybe one of the underused Google apps, huh, Chipper? But yeah, automatic instant update, clouds, photos, little extension from Chrome to drag things into. It's a good friend. Good. It's a good friend.
Glenn wrote, Barry has the only successful Eskimo ice business.
I do. What is the Eskimo ice business? I'll do it. I'll market it.
You could sell ice to Eskimos.
I'd love that. Hey, you guys, let's dig into mistake number 5. Let's dig into mistake number 5 while it's still Saturday. Giving away your power. This is the one I really wanted to talk about. 1 to 5 on this one. I get most of my work by others who do a buy, sell, or take a commission. That's an agent or a meeting planner or someone like that. I get most of my work from others who do a buy, sell, or take a commission. Where are you at with that? Are you working mostly with end clients? 1, highly disagree with this. 5, fully agree with this. I'm going to say that it's good to have both. I'm going to say that it's really good to have both. And if you are only working with end clients, you're throwing away a lot of money by not working with top producers. And if you're only working with top producers, you are a pawn in their game. The number one thing a producer cares about is getting the gig. Way down the line is getting the gig for you. So to that end, a perfect match of both is really good. And I'm not going to say 50-50 or 70-30, but a perfect match for your business, depending on your market, that will vary around. But if you're just hanging on to one, you're losing money. I can promise you that. The turn on this is identify and research your ideal gig. All right? Find lookalike gigs, and that's in air quotes, and research the players in the American, what's this one that we did up in Colorado? I'm thinking about where we emceed their award ceremony. Oh, it was like the National Association of Frackers or something like that. It was so great, but they had this award ceremony.
Why is that great, fracking?
Oh, fracking's not, fracking may or may not be
You
great.
said it was great.
No, the gig was great.
Okay.
Wherever you are on fracking, I don't know. I didn't care. That night it was $15,000 up in Colorado Springs at the Broadmoor. So it was a nice night for us. But what it showed me was, man, these award ceremonies are way cool. So just finding corporates and being able to go into a lookalike market for that and advertise that and use their testimonial for that. Amazing. So find lookalike gigs and research the players in those. Create your own reality through connection. Something you can definitely do, and be a referral machine. All right. That doesn't mean just if you can do all the work, do the heavy lifting. We are in an economy right now where people love connecting with as close to the sources they can. I mean, honestly, reviews and massive websites, sites like Google Shop, where someone types something in and just looks around at all the places available. If you can do that and connect through LinkedIn or Twitter and get a message in front of the right person, the conversations will start, and then you get to do exactly what we talked about in the action steps, session 2 of this video. Become a referral machine, connecting people, connecting yourselves to opportunities. Don't miss the gig you want. Wait for it. Boom. What a shame. Mistake number 5, second one, giving your power away. Where are you at? 1 to 5 on this. I believe that the best opportunities are available to anyone with a smartphone, a burning desire, and a plan. Where are you at with that one? You agree with that? The best opportunities are available to you because of who you are in this culture right now? If you have a smartphone, a desire, and a plan, man, I hope you're high on that one. I hope you're a 5 on that one. If you're not, we got to talk. But the turn, if you're not, wake up, all right? You have the world in your pocket, more technology than they used on the first space mission, literally in your pocket right now. Find a mentor and create your own future. No matter what, an accountability partner, a mentor, a coach, any of those will pay you 5-10 times a return on your investment, up to 100 or 1,000 times if you do it right on your investment. And learn a system that is repeatable and works. You should have reversed those. That works and is repeatable. All right, that's a powerful slide. You can go absolutely anywhere you want. We live in that world now. We live in the world where you can go anywhere. There are no limits anymore. And the last one, in giving away your power, where are you at? 1 to 5. I have a system for finding and connecting with the key players who can book me for the shows I want. That's producer, that's end client, doesn't matter. But I have a system for finding and connecting with the key players who can book me for the shows I want. Where are you at? Disagree or agree? 1 to 5. The turn on that one, if you're playing low on that one, admit that your market share is shrinking. Yep. I'm sure I'm not just breaking this to you, but your market share is shrinking radically because you're not reaching out. You're not, the main thing, number one thing any business will tell you is it has to look like a funnel, and there needs to be a whole lot of new coming into the top of that funnel. Because as it moves down the funnel, some people are going to eliminate themselves. You're going to eliminate some. Price, availability, content, location. Boom. And when you get down to the very bottom here, this is where you get to book the gig. So you need people coming into this funnel. And if you don't have people coming into the funnel, admit that your market share is constantly shrinking. Adapt a new plan that keeps your pipeline full, just growing all the time. And connect with the value that you can offer people first, and ask for the sale second. Really connect in, like we talked about in session 2 of this workshop, connect in with the value that you're going to bring to that event, and then ask through the proposal for the sale. Good stuff. And realize that you are the gift, and give it freely. Give it freely. Give it freely. You guys, I want to talk about something right now. Tomorrow I'm opening registration for the 2021 edition of ShowBiz Blueprint. I'm very excited. My heart beats when I say that because I have no idea right now the 30 people I'll be working with. They're out there among the 2,500 or so that I'm mailing this to. I cleaned off my email list before this. Anyone who hadn't opened an email in the last 90 days from me got taken off the list. So this is going out to about 2,500 people, and I have no idea right now the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I don't even know how many people. Doesn't matter to me, but what I do know is the system is perfect. ShowBiz Blueprint is radically successful. And tomorrow I'm opening up registration of the 16th edition of it, the 2021 edition. You know, in 2020, it was a difficult time. I mean, no doubt about it. I did what I could to help people. We didn't do a traditional ShowBiz Blueprint. It wasn't the time. As you'll see when you're inside this program, I start telling you directions exactly that pertain to live events. There were no live events right around the time when I would have launched it in March of 2020. That's when it was falling apart. I'm glad we weren't halfway through the program because I wouldn't have known really what to do. It was right at the beginning of when I was starting to get it together to launch it. But in that program, we say, pick up the phone, call this person, write these emails, post this. I mean, everything is about live events that are happening right now and how to best book them. And we have weekly meetings where we dig into more strategies, Q&As with people, what people are doing, looking at their proposal system and going hardcore on this. So the right time to do it is now. And the excitement in me, the heartbeat in me comes from not knowing exactly who's going to come in, who I'm going to work with. And that is thrilling. And when I said the system's perfect, I mean the system for actually ending up in the course is perfect. And I'll talk about that a little bit right now. This will be that's the 16th, 15th. I went on to tell you, we did a ShowBiz Blueprint Black Edition in November of 2020, and I count that as the 15th edition. It wasn't as traditional. We had 30 Black artists from around the world. And it was unbelievable, the power that rose from that group and the opportunities that came and what was actually manifested. I was honored and touched to co-create that with 4 Black alumni of the program and welcome in these members to that part of that section, that edition of ShowBiz Blueprint. It was remarkable. Over 275 alumni and not a single.
Wait, did you not
Yep.
mention the COVID cohort?
Oh, and I'm sorry. And then we did the COVID cohort back in.
Glenn's saying how helpful.
Oh, Glenn, catch me, buddy. When it was launching, I went on and did the Entertainer State of the Union address. And on the way into the studio that day, I decided I'm going to do something, and I put together a COVID cohort, which was a 12-week brain trust, a think tank where we got together every week for 12 weeks, and we just kept on the positive. We brought in some of the principles of ShowBiz Blueprint. We talked a lot about virtual, how we could do things. And that group is still going. You guys are still meeting, I know. And I popped in on the 1-year anniversary a few weeks ago. It was just phenomenal to see the power and the celebration in there. Heidi was in that. Kip was in that. Frankie was in that. I mean, there was just Adam was in that. I think some people who I've seen on this meeting were in that. And I'm hoping you guys come in and experience the full ShowBiz Blueprint in 2021. It's time. Over 275 alumni and not a single refund for a very important reason. And I'm going to cover that in a second. Tomorrow we'll have an early action bonus for the first 10 members. That'll be explained in the video that comes out tomorrow at noon Pacific time. That program gives you access to leaders and strategies and systems, the likes of which are nowhere else on the planet, from an authority, from someone who's been through it. There are a handful of people teaching this, and it's from people who haven't done it, haven't had that resume. And I'm as sorry as I am to say, there's people teaching that stuff that they're just not bringing the breadth of experience that we get inside of this group. Registration is going to close a week from tomorrow, so you'll have 1 week to make up your mind. Again, those first 10 spots, I imagine, will go very quickly. The fast action bonus is powerful. The classes themselves, they're on demand. You will be able to access those. We do have one live meeting a week where we meet for 90 minutes on a Zoom room, me and the class, and we dig in hardcore. They're all recorded. You'll be able to grab recordings if you're not there live. The classes run July 5th through September 2nd. And the impact from this program will run for the rest of your life. This week, I'm going to be doing some lives on the ShowBiz Blueprint Facebook page. We'll broadcast them also on YouTube. But I'm going to be doing some little roundtables with alumni who we're going to talk about some of what it's meant to them, where they were at before they took the program, what they were like after they took the program, where they were challenged, how they're still using the content. What an honor it is to be inside of the Facebook alumni group. Probably one of the best places on the internet for an entertainer to end up, and that's at the end of the program. You're added to that. And like I say, the impact runs for the rest of your life. You never go back to sleep. Registration opens at noon Pacific time tomorrow. I mentioned that. Check your email for the link. If you're not getting emails from me, if you ended up here through social or something else, go to showbizblueprint.com and put your name and email in there. You'll get the email tomorrow with the link for this. Full invitation and a box opening video. I'll walk you through the portal. We'll take a look at what's waiting for you so you can get your hands, your brain wrapped around that. And I told you I'd mentioned that if you get inside of ShowBiz Blueprint, I said there's never been a refund, because by the time you're in there, you're in the right place. After you join, you're put through 2 interviews. One is an extensive written interview that probably takes somewhere in the area of 30 minutes to an hour to complete. We dig deep into why you're here, what you want, what you're willing to put behind you, and what you're willing to take on. How coachable are you? All of that is exposed in that written. And then if that passes, then you jump onto a Zoom meeting with me, and we actually meet face-to-face for 15 minutes. I won't say my soul, but a big driving part of my intention during that meeting is, are you going to be a good addition to the ShowBiz Blueprint alumni group? Because I protect that ecosystem with all of my might. That is one of the most powerful places on the internet for me, and I protect it wildly. So during our oral interview, I will be thinking and I'll be feeling into, is this person going to be a good addition to this group in 10 weeks when they're added? When they're all done with this course, are they going to bring gold? And during both of these, the written and the oral interview, I have your receipt up while I'm looking at it that you paid, and I hit refund. Anywhere between 2 and I think the most I ever did was 5 times in a year when the people just weren't right. For one reason or another, it wasn't a fit. No hard feelings, but I just knew they weren't going to get 10, 20, 100 times value out of this thing. And I just hit refund and thank them for applying. I protect this ecosystem with all my power. So if you're a blueprinter for life. We have some blueprinters on here, showing up. They can't even pay me again. They can't even give me more money. They still come back to this. So know that that's a part of your life. You are never alone again.
Does the program work well for any kind of entertainment?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for asking that. Does the program work well for any kind of entertainment? It's funny. We have launched out businesses that aren't even entertainment out of ShowBiz Blueprint. It's been quite remarkable just to watch how that happens. Yeah, what we talk about is applicable to any kind of entertainment. I don't care what you do. Really doesn't matter. If you're performing for live people, if you're making an offer to the human race, you're going to get more than your money's worth in this, just what we talk about and what we bring. Couple parting notes I want to bring up to you guys. Congratulations on completing the Reentry workshop. My goal in doing this is that this would be the second best training for entertainers coming off a 15 months break and getting back into the marketplace. The second best one in the world. I wanted to create it and offer it to you for free. The next best training is ShowBiz Blueprint, and tomorrow registration is going to open for that, and you'll have an email. And if it's time for you to apply for that and jump in, I would welcome the opportunity to have you in my life for 8 weeks and then the rest of my life. Keep your note sheets that you did this week, and if you didn't do them, these trainings will be up for another week. Go through those worksheets, because if you find them in a month or in 6 months from now, you're going to go, God, this is what I was thinking. And this is what I wrote, and have I done it? And if not, why? And you'll be able to go through those and actually rekindle that spirit, that part of you that knew what you wanted at that moment, and act on it. So take that seriously. Third, find a coach or a mentor, whether it's me and the community of ShowBiz Blueprint, the extensive faculty that we bring in to teach that program. Find a mentor or a coach that will continue to relentlessly push you towards your greatest potential. When someone comes into ShowBiz Blueprint, one of the questions I ask them, a couple of the questions I ask them, is to project themselves into the future and talk about what that is. Where are they at when they're at that place? And guess what happens? In my brain, a ratchet gets stuck there, and I never see them as less. I can't. I don't allow my vision of them to fall below that level. That's why when Dawn Marie spoke up, it's like instantly my brain went to that place where she was with creating this incredible form of art, and how she worked so hard to get these grants from the Canadian government and got them. But there's just pictures of every single alumni of where they're at. Brian Glow, who's on our, I show you guys this real quick. This is the ShowBiz Blueprint alumni Facebook group. And we changed this banner photo for every so often for people who are doing amazing things. Brian Glow, for probably 5 or more years, has been going up to the northernmost parts of North America, up to these small villages, way up in northern Canada, where people don't even ever go, where it's always either bright 24 hours or dark 24 hours, basically. And he does shows on bullying, on drinking, alcoholism, suicide prevention, and magic. See where magic comes in? He does that also. But boy, one of the original alumni of ShowBiz Blueprint. So yeah, this is a super fun thing. This we trade this, but this alumni group is a remarkable place. Annie has something else.
If we're accepted, John wants to know we're in the Facebook group for life.
Yes, if you are accepted as a alumni, here's what happens when you come into ShowBiz Blueprint. When our group starts, when this 2021 group starts, we have a Facebook group that's a closed group just for our people. At the end of that, everyone who makes it all the way through is added to the alumni group. And yeah, that doesn't go away. That doesn't go away. Yeah, it's a good place. It's a really good place. Let me jump back to where I was looking. A couple final parting notes. The shelf life that you have as an entertainer is brutal. I mentioned earlier in this video that money always replaces itself, and it's been proven time and time again that time never will. So to whatever extent possible, whether you take what you learned in this Entertainers Reentry Workshop or join me in ShowBiz Blueprint, always be focusing on the opportunities that are out there and the action you can take to make them real and bring them to be part of your life. Operate from opportunity plus action at all times. Remember who you are and why you're here. You did not go through everything that you went through to train your body and your mind and your wit, your humor, your writing skills, your talent, whatever that is, to lower your price and race to the bottom. And as part of the community in ShowBiz Blueprint, you will never be allowed to do that. That will be stopped. You won't pass the audition. John and I certainly hope we pass the audition. You will not. That's good. That was an old Beatles reference. I wasn't talking about John, who just asked the question. You will always be in demand if you shine bright. The last message I want to leave you guys with as we bring this workshop to a close. Stay bright. Light up the path for the folks who are sadly not living in that light. I wish all of you the best. Congratulations again on completing this Entertainers Workshop. I'm just going to, and I'll see you next time. I'm going to stay